fact, at the outset, let me thank Kelpro organization for inviting me and share my thoughts on information security. In the beginning itself, let me tell you, this is a very, very vast topic. And this is my thoughts, which I'm sharing with. This is not a general format, which we have already created or something like that. As and when we go through this, if you come across any issues which you have faced or which you feel that's to be done, please feel free to contact me. I don't know whether the time will be permitted, because I have it is a very heavily packed session, because I would like to drop off at 5:30 at least. So I don't know how much time we are given, because another session is also there, not on this one. So, but I can tell you that please feel free to send me a mail, which I'll surely be replying to if I cannot take your questions in this session. With this background, let me just start off my session. Once again, thank you to Kabir sir and I had a very good connection also. So I'm sure that I'll be knowing at least some more people in this. Anyway, thanks a lot once again, giving me an opportunity. So let me just start with presenting.
Dr. Arun Kumar, madam has left. You allow her to join again. Has come back. I think. Okay. Hello. अब उसमें लिंक में क्लिक करना आपको मिलेगा लिंक आपका पास ब्रोशर है
Am I audible now?
Okay, audible, madam. Okay.
I have changed to full screen mode. Is that coming? Okay.
No, madam, that is not in full screen mode.
No, it is not full screen now. You can make it the slideshow. You can start the slideshow from the beginning.
I have changed. Okay, shall I start in this mode itself? Actually, in my screen, it is in this.
Okay, you can proceed, madam. No problem. We can see. Yes.
Okay, sorry for that. I think if I okay. So thank you again, and I presume that I'm talking to mostly the information scientists and librarians, actually, who help in getting the individuals what information they need. As Dr. Humayun Kabir was telling, digital information is changing the role of librarians radically. The resources and services offered are creating new opportunities, whether it is traditional or modern. The techniques have really helped us in improving many things, but there has been, these things are attached with a tag but, and that but is the most important thing. See, the new kinds of what I'm telling is, we are able to get more and more information. We are able to serve better to the community, but with a new threat called security threat. Why this is? Because we'll see. In the last few years, we have seen that there has been a lot of improvements in the technology, both in the computer technology and in the communication technology. And you can say that because of these improvements in the communication technology, we are getting what we are having it now. Especially the pandemic has really thrown us to a new normal. You know, we have become an online addicts. We cannot think of a life without internet or without any online support. And I'm happy that we are having at least 50 members in this meeting and from any part of the world, just because of this online support. And that too, we were forced to change, because earlier we used to take some time for the change, but we were forced to change maybe overnight due to this pandemic situation. And over the past 1.5 years, we have become so much used to this. Now we know that this is how it works. Okay, so there's little bit of, I'll just take 2 minutes just to set the background. You can see that
See, when you're taking a paper, you know that this is gone. Or if you take a photo, but electronically stolen things, it's very difficult to understand, and you'll get to know only after some time. That is the most important thing. Now, generally speaking, this I'm not talking about one specific organization. How your information gets into the internet is that you may be setting up an online account. I'm sure that 99% of the people listening to me might be having an Amazon account. I don't say that it is bad, but you have an online account somewhere. You may be having using GPay. You may be using, and most of you must be using your phone as a medium of using this. Okay, so you have many things in your phone. Okay, in their phone, you are downloading some softwares. You are downloading many apps. Your apps are also very cunning. You know, when you download your apps, are you looking at when you say yes? Some apps ask for your location. Some apps ask for your camera. What? Some apps ask for your various other things. See, whenever you see an attack happening, it might be 99% of the time it happens due to the carelessness of the person who has installed the app, because in the app itself it is asking whether to give the permissions. Whenever you're downloading an app, you have to be double careful about the permissions you are giving. For example, a voice recorder app you're downloading need know why should it look for your gallery permission. And many of you must be using, I'll give you a simple example. Many of you must be using Truecaller. And what is the advantage of Truecaller? When you get an unknown number, it tells you that who is calling you, with even if they are not in your contact list. From where this Truecaller is getting these details? When you're downloading that app, it is asking the permission of your contact list and you're giving. Only then that app will be installed. So it is with your permission. Truecaller, I'm not saying that it is wrong. Truecaller is using your contact list because you have given the permission. It is up to you to decide what permission is you need to give. I hope you have understood what I meant by that. Okay. So similarly, each and every app, whenever you're downloading, please make sure that you're giving only elementary permissions. Many apps ask for your contact list. Please do not give that. Okay. Now, what are the risks involved? In generally, when you're talking about the softwares, what are the risks involved? Here I am introducing two terms called vulnerability and vulnerability. What do you mean by vulnerability? Vulnerability means, see, softwares are very complex, comprising of many lines of codes, and is always written by humans, and it can have the programming mistakes. These mistakes, we call it as vulnerability. And these loopholes are used by the hackers to break into their system, So this can be also used by this malicious code, or which may get attached to your program automatically to your system. Hacker is a term used to those who exploit the security vulnerabilities to break into the system. This is basically an electronic burglary. Okay. And once they get the access, they can install anything. It may be a malicious program, or it may be the confidential data, or perhaps use some compromised computers to distribute spams. Many times that happens also. Okay. So how can you protect them from the hackers? So in a simple thing, if I tell you, you are using many systems, how do you get yourself connected to your internet? You are using either a PC or a mobile phone. Please make sure that you are using only legal software. This is very much applicable when you are using the old versions of Windows software with no proper patching up. What is patching? Patching means, as I told you, there is a vulnerability. Vulnerability is some inherent issues that has already happened. Here I'm telling. So that vulnerability is corrected, and they release something that is called patch. The patch has to be updated. If you are not using a legal version of the software, the patch will not be updated, and that will leave a loophole where a hacker can get into your system. Okay. So always use legal software and update it timely. All the updates. See, what I have seen is that if you're using pirated software, they say, please, what is it? Please do. Automatic patch should not be given, which means your system will never get patched, and the loophole will be always there, giving the threat. So are these technology issues? No, it is all about people, and human error accounts for 90% of cyber attacks. And it is the people who break into corporate organization to get access to the confidential data or penetrate into the security system. I want to tell you this because many a times you might have seen that the ATM fraud, or almost 99.99 times, if you check the error, how it has happened, it is because of the carelessness of the user, because somebody might have called telling that they need the OTP, and this person might have given it. That is what I want to tell you. It is because of not being aware that this is a wrong thing. So my idea of this session itself is to make people aware that you should not do these things. Because of this issues, we have to be careful. That's a basic thing. Okay. So, are you safe? Not always. I think somebody is talking. Can you please mute?
Dr. Arun Kumar? Dr. Arun Kumar?
Okay, sir. Who is speaking?
Somebody's voice is coming up.
Yeah.
Please check and.
Okay. So, you have to be cautious. Yes, you can. And the first step in becoming cyber safe is awareness. Okay, this is the most important thing. Now, let us come to the threats. We will see these threats one by one. I'm sure that you might have already seen these things, of which I will be malware. I am not going to give you much description because malware includes all virus, worms, spywares, etc., which has been talked a lot, that is, you can find out. Now, what is phishing? Phishing is, hello? Is my sound echoing?
No, madam, we can hear it. It's okay.
Okay. So phishing means it is like just like fishing in a pond. What do? You put a bait into the pond or into water, and any of the fish might get hooked to that. Okay. Similarly, these bad guys will be putting a bait to the people who are vulnerable. Let me just again and again tell you, vulnerable. Why? Because few myths I want to tell you. Nobody gives you anything free. Even today, I see that many WhatsApp in case comes that Amazon is going to give you free so and so. Tata is going to give you free so and so. These please ignore, delete it and ignore. There is no free business, And please, if you click on that, it might be we don't know. It might be DNS spoofing. So just ignore that. In spite of all the warnings, still people do that and they lose money also. I will just share one story if time permits. Okay. So phishing is generally they are just pulling a bait, and if somebody falls into that, that is how they are getting the gullible people. They're always gullible people. They are trying to put into this kind of problems. Spear phishing means it is a sort of targeted attack. Generally, what happens is they will be attacking the executives. And as I told you, the example, this OTP issues, most of the time it is targeted because they know that this person is gullible and they will be asking. And when there are many kinds of phishing, we call it as vishing, VISHING. Vishing means voice phishing or SMS phishing. You will get many SMS telling that you got a lottery or you have got something, this, that, etc. These are all phishing attacks. Now, the next one is man in the middle attack. What do you mean by that? See, I am sending some information from point A to point B. I'm sending it by mail or something. Now, what I presume is that my information is going very safely to the other end. Okay. it I hope you know that it has to be sent encrypted. So if it is a very confidential information, etc., which needs you know that there is an SSL layer also added. So whenever you're changing your password or whenever you're doing any sort of financial transactions, etc., you can see that you are going to an HTTPS site. Okay, that S stands for SSL layer. Okay, so man in the middle attack occurs when any bad guy stands between two-party communication. See, suppose a person wants to steal a credit card number from a coffee shop, something like that, and there are free Wi-Fi's available there. So there are chances, because this free Wi-Fi is available to everybody. When you get connected to your system, the bad guy can see what is the transaction you're doing, you know. So that is a man in the middle attack. See, there are sometimes called passive man in the middle attack, which means he just eavesdrop. He's just listening what is happening. He may not be doing anything bad also, but sometimes they will be extracting the sensitive information, but they will not be manipulating or tampering. Sometimes tampering also happens. That is called the man in the middle attack. Okay. Denial of service is something which we are very, very familiar to, because it's a flooding attacks. You know, you know how internet is working. The end user is sending a request to the server, and server is replying back. So if the server is getting so many requests where it cannot accommodate all these things, what will happen? Just like many people are getting into one building, if the road is very small, what will happen? There will be traffic jam. The same thing is what you call it, is the denial of service flooding attack. Many requests are being sent to the server so that the server will not be able to hold on these things, and the server will not be responding. That is called the denial of service attack. It can be either flooding attack or even crash. The system will be crashing. And denial of service can be distributed denial also. Okay. And the next one is SQL injection. SQL injection is a very, very common kind of attack. You can see that in the OWASP, that is supposed to be the first. They have given, it is listed as the first web application security. This is mostly happening in the application security. See, as far as an information scientist is concerned, these things are not, you cannot do anything on this, but at least you should know that these kind of attacks are happening. That's why I'm talking about all these things. Okay. So what is SQL injection attack? As I told you, some database is being, you know that information from the database is being queried. We use SQL languages. So there can be bad guys attempt to access the database, and they use the malicious scripts. Sometimes if successful, they can view, they can change, or they even delete the data, you know. So that is a very common kind of attack. You can see that most of the 65% of the web application attacks are due to the SQL injection. So that is the responsibility of the code developer, software developer, to make sure that those kind of attacks are minimized. Okay. The next one comes the zero-day exploit. Zero-day exploit means, you know, it's a vulnerability which it can be software vulnerability or hardware vulnerability. It can be, you know, that is, they don't know. Once it is released, only they come to know that there is such a exploit, there is such a vulnerability. And what happens is, this bad guy, the cyber criminals, will be exploiting that vulnerability before a patch is implemented. You might have seen that in previous many situations, the operating system patches are being loaded at many point of time. That is when they find out that this is not correct or there is a problem here, they correct it and release the next version. That is what we call it as patches. So that is where the zero-day attacks are happening, making use of that vulnerability. And I will just tell you an example. If you're interested, you can search through Google. There was a major attack way back in 2007-8, I think. It's called the Stuxnet attack. The Stuxnet, what happened was, because of that attack, the nuclear program of Iran was they had to stop it because of this Stuxnet attack. And that Stuxnet was actually a zero-day exploit and advanced persistent threat. The next one, that is where this malicious actor gets into the system but just remain undetected for a long time. We don't even know that system somebody is staying inside. That is what you mean by APT, advanced persistent threat. So this Stuxnet is actually an example of both the zero-day attack as well as APT. If you're interested, you can just check that. Okay. Then comes the ransomware. So ransomware, I'm sure that you must be aware of, because when I checked for the information security in library, I found few attacks. It's not a new one. Some time back about this ransomware attacks. Ransomware attacks is just like other ransomware. What they do is they just hide. Take somebody and then ask for the ransom. The similar way, your system is attacked and it encrypt everything. So you will not be able to, one fine morning, you are not able to get into your system. That is what you mean by ransomware attack. And they ask for money. Money can be, you might have heard WannaCry. That was a very popular ransomware attack where government is not that particular site. So that is what you mean by DNS attacking. So this is the overview. Please update all your systems with the proper patches. Otherwise, your vulnerability will be there. And please do not entertain any pirated software. No to pirated software. If you do not have, if the financial issue is there, please go for the open source. I will tell you, if something is attacked, means the kind of amount you need to spend on that, recovering your damage will be much more than what you're planning to get your licensed software. So that is a hygienic habit. Please do not permit any pirated software. Please use only licensed software. Okay. Now, so that is about patches and file sharing. General security, password. Password is very, very important. A very common thing is use your password just like your toothbrush. What is toothbrush you are using? So how you are using your toothbrush, it should be careful while using the password. You can use a mix of alphabet and numerical characters. You can use a mixture of upper, lower password case sensitive symbols also. It can be letters or any paraphrases. I would advise you to go for paraphrases. What do you mean by paraphrases? See, you can see that in the last part of the slide, it is shown that always on time to work, AOT2WX. You are taking combinations of some things which is extremely difficult to decrypt. My password is very secure. So that is another one. You have to keep on changing your passwords regularly. Please understand, it is not a single person trying to attack your system or anything like that. It is a bot, automated system, which is trying to find the loopholes. And I will tell you one example. Let me see whether I have included that. No. Okay, I'm sorry.
see, there is one site, it's called Have I Been
Pond. If you want, you can just take a note of it. Have I Been Pond? HAVE IBEEN, or I can I will type it here. I think that is better. I request all of you to check your password, whether this is a wonderful site which will give you the details whether your password has been pawned or what are the latest breaches. If your password has been pawned, which are the sites which has made it open, and you don't get worried about it because breaches always happens, but don't get worried. What I would advise you is that please change your password often. So even if it is breached at one, and you please check when it was breached. If it was breached some 5-10 years back, just leave it, because after that you might have already changed the password. So frequently you have to change your password, and generally the practitioner says that you have to use the two-factor authentication. I am sure that you all must know that two-factor authentication is. If you want to get into the Google, you type their password, immediately it will send an OTP, and then again you have to type the OTP, but it is a little bit what you say, a tedious process. So generally what we do is we do not do all these things. We just keep add to your browser and say yes. But that is a very dangerous thing. We don't know what are the things that is spying your browser, So please do not save it in your browser. And all the more it is dangerous when you're giving the system. Suppose one day your machine crashes. You have to give your system to somebody. But fortunately, what we are having here now is that we have multiple systems with the which we are logging in, So through another system, at least you can change your password. So make it a habit. Make it a habit that you are changing your password regularly. And please do not use the same password. No, even if it is breached at one site, we don't know. So recently Domino's was breached, Domino's was breached. So, Domino's India, if you're using, please change your password. Similarly, you can see that breach happens very often. So that is not a big news, but still make sure that you're changing your password. And there is something called as password managers being used. I am not using it, so I cannot say that. What they say is that they keep it is just like a locker. You need to remember only one password. The rest of the passwords will be encrypted and stored in a password. It's called LastPass, OnePass, etc. So many people usually ask me, but I'm not using, so I don't know about it. I'm sorry. And I am always a little bit paranoid, maybe because I read a lot of things like this. So I'm not very sure. And I don't say that I am very secure also, but these are the general practices we can use it. Okay. So evaluate your security settings very often. Why I'm telling you is this. Many a times we are doing this online purchases, etc. So in many sites, what you may not be aware, but your credit card information will be stored. Suppose that online site is hacked by somebody, a breach happens, you're exposed, your credit card number is all exposed. We don't know what is going to happen. So when you're using your credit card online transactions, most of the time you can see that there is a small checkbox below saying that save the details for the next use. By default, it may be always ticked also. So even when I didn't realize it, recently when I was charging my mobile, that app is also having the same thing. We don't even see, but somewhere down it is written, if you want to remove your credit card details, you have to go to this particular thing, etc., and then do this. So whenever you're doing an online transaction, make sure that your credit card details are not stored. You can type it once again, which is much more safer. Okay. Back up your data regularly. Yeah, this is an age-old thing. Disconnect from internet if you are not using it. and never ever use your Wi-Fi through your mobile, which you are doing any transactions, safe transactions. You can, we call it a cyber hygiene, just like now we are for the COVID hygiene. We know that when you go out and come back, you're washing with the soap, etc. Please keep a separate phone for these kind of activities. When going in the airport, you see a Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi, immediately get yourself. No, you have to be careful when you're doing that. Now I will. Can I take 5-10 minutes more, sir?
Okay, madam. Okay, madam.
Okay,
You can
okay.
take.
Thank you. Email security. When you're chatting, you have to be careful with your what is that? You have to be very careful with the attachments that is coming. These are all older stuff. Okay, this is nothing new which I'm telling you, but I'm sure that you must be knowing that we need to be careful with the kind of attachments. Sometimes some mails will be coming to you which looks very, very you will fall for it, the kind of thing. But you have to be careful, especially if it is coming from a friend, because friend says that I am in so much. I know many people who have lost money because of these kind of things. It is very careless. Suppose one of my friend gets a mail telling that I am in Delhi. See, I am stuck with this. Please transfer money. Immediately the friend gives it to transfer the money, thinking that I am in a dire situation. But my friend could have called me and asked, are you in a problem? Something like that. That would have solved a lot. So please use your due diligence at this point of time before you act with a good intention, And one of the very dangerous places is the social network security. You have to limit your personal information. You have to check your privacy settings. Be skeptical. Do not keep on adding the unknown friends. You're listening to the stories every day. Recently, it is very unfortunate to see that one person decided to live with a Facebook friend who was not existing at all. Somebody was playing prank on this, and the kind of activity that is happening is it is so dangerous. And I feel that how can people fool somebody like this? So this is one thing, social network security. And please do share only what is needed. Okay, please do share. I'm again repeatedly telling, do share only what is needed. Privacy settings, you can, I will tell you one more thing. See, Facebook and all these things are having very good privacy settings and safety precautions. All the breaches are happening because of the carelessness of the end user, because we add and keep all the passwords in the default mode or something like that. Okay, you know that these are important. HTTPS verification, that is where you have to look into the genuinity of the mail, if at all it is coming to you. This is another thing I wanted to tell you about the mobile device. That is what I was talking about, the hygiene, physical security, password protection. Keep always, your mobile should always have a password protection. Wireless security is important. And in your home also, please keep your Wi-Fi modem secure. The password should be very strong, so that a person walking on the road cannot get connected to your system. That is called the Wi-Fi crashing. We don't want that drivers drive into your system. And USB is the most dangerous form of transferring the malware. Somebody is actually getting malware from I don't have to talk to you. Being the information scientist, I'm sure that you might have come across this very, very often. Okay. And all the more difficult is the social engineering, identity theft. You might have heard every day coming up with somebody is using the fake profile, somebody is using my identity. This is called identity theft. Somebody is using my photograph and creating a profile. That is an identity theft. Now, social engineering is very, very important. If you watch somebody's Facebook, the kind of conversations, what is happening there, the kind of activity that is happening here, you can easily profile a person. You can easily understand what are the, if you're really into it, what are the weakness, what are the strength of the people. So it is easy for them to get caught in various through social engineering. It is just like a normal thing, See, when you leave your lights switched on and you are not there for a long time, or if you see the papers, earlier days we used to say that when the papers are lying in front of your house for 2-3 days, so the people have a tendency to know, or that is it is very police used to tell, please ask your paper pan to stop putting a paper if you are not there for a week or so, or before more than 3 days. It's the same thing happens here also. It is easy for you to profile a person through this social engineering things. Okay. These are all the examples I wanted to say you. So now coming to specifically to the libraries, as I told you, ransomware is one information which I read in papers. This is more than 4 years old. That is what I'm telling. Extortion, they had asked for this was in St. Louis Library. This is just taken from the browser, the World Wide Web. So you might be knowing that. So this is again June 2018 when ransom. So files were encrypted and they were asking for bitcoins in return. Okay, and but they were having quite a good infrastructure. It took 2 weeks for them to return back to normal, but they were able to retrieve it back. But I'm not sure how prepared are we for such kind of so defense mechanisms what we are having right now, we need to be strengthened. Okay. Now, another question which is relevant to the librarians is it safe to download ebooks? So again, no pirated ebooks. There may be many places where but there are places where they will give you ebooks for. It is a trusted source. You can always do that. The company authorizes you can distribute ebooks, but otherwise no. And in the last part one, you can see the pirated contents may be free, but often comes with a price. That is very important. Many of the PDF, EPUB, zip, exe files may contain the malwares that could give your computer virus, install spyware, or we don't know. Okay. And always make sure that you have a reputable antivirus. Now we have come almost to the so I want to tell you few things before I conclude. When you're sharing the information, please read privacy policy. Oh no. Okay. What are the things website is gathering about you, how it is used, how it is shared and secured. Don't share more than what you need. Don't post anything online that would not want to make public. Okay. And minimize the details that identify you about your whereabouts, etc. And whatever that has to be kept confidential, please keep confidential, like your passwords, names, account numbers, your email, etc. Only the required. See, when you're filling a form, some things will be given asterisk. Only use that asterisk, And as I told you, check app settings, especially on your phone. Be careful about allowing apps to access your location. Okay, that location is very important. When you can see that any point of time in your timeline, it will be telling you in the Google Maps. If you had switched on the Google Maps when you're traveling, it will tell you what point, where, which way. So much of information of yours is being taken. That is what I was telling you. Nothing is free. All these things you are giving it in kind, So be careful about allowing the apps to access your location information, photo, camera, etc. I think with that I have completed everything. Thank you very much. Over to you, sir.
Okay. So now you can wind up your slide, madam.
Okay.
So anyway, you have been listening to a very exciting talk on information security by Dr. Mini Madam, Systems Manager of Cochin University of Science and Technology. The main points discussed here are the history of Internet, myths of Internet, information, what is information security, the difference between cyber security and information security, and the importance of information security management, how information goes into Internet, what are the risks involved, how to protect from hackers, and the various types of cyber security threats, phishing, and etc. and so on. The overview of cyber attacks and threats, using of passwords, and good security habits. Finally, several incidents happened in libraries, and the incidents were highlighted here by Madam. The question of downloading of ebooks also, and many other useful issues were discussed. And thank you very much, Dr. Mini Madam, for your informative presentation. And you have disseminated a lot of useful information to for the research community, teaching and library information community. So many of those explained here, I think it may not be available in any documents because Madam told many things from her experience, personal experience. But still there may be doubts in the minds of the audience. And many prominent persons are here. Dr. Ramesh Babu of Jacob Memorial College, Dr. Team Shrestha from the University, I think Tribhuvan University from Nepal, Mr. Abdul Razak from the former University Librarian of Kerala Agricultural University, the present University Librarian Dr. A.T. Francis, and Mr. Kunji Mohammed from Kerala University of Fisheries, Dr. Vishala from St. Agnes College, Mangalore, Dr. Surendran from Cochin University of Science and Technology, Dr. Mini Devi from the University of Kerala, head of the department, and many prominent persons. These people I have seen, and many others are there. And if you have any questions, you can ask.
May I be permitted to add one more thing here?
Yes, Madam.
I forgot to give you that because as an information scientist, I think one important thing you have to look into is the fake news, which is creating a hell lot of problem now. So I request all of you to look into that also when you're disseminating the information. And all the more problem is happening because of the deep fake technology, where the videos are also those many videos, because we feel that what you see is what you is correct, but things what we see is not correct at the point many point of times, you know. So that is one point which I left. I mean, I forgot to add. I had this in mind.
No, in fact, there was a webinar earlier on misinformation, disinformation, fake information. But the technical aspects are not discussed there at that time.
Okay. Then it's fine. Thank you. That's
okay. Any questions from the audience? Dr. A.T.
Good evening, sir. Okay. Good evening, sir.
Okay, Dr. B. Mini Devi from the head of University of Kerala.
Good evening, madam. At first, I am thanking you for your nice, good presentation. Because when I observe you, your talk, I felt you are teaching like a teacher. You are telling all these things like a teacher. So we can understand these technical terms very easily. Even though as from the part of library professionals, we are knowing this, but in our syllabus, or this is not included. But when we are doing a workshop for the OBE syllabus, we will certainly include this as an elective paper, because this is a new topic which every library professional should be aware of. Then when I observe some of our students and then professional course students, that's MBBS engineering students, many of them download ebooks from these particular sites. Now, this is a business associated with this some DTP centers also. So from here, they even buy these bounded copies of prominent reference books. This is a major problem. Now, as far as from the librarian's viewpoint, we have to know more in the part how we can deal with this e-books, e-journals, etc. So I need, this is a relevant topic, that in this topic our professionals should be more trained. Thank you, madam, for your nice presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Mini Devi, madam. And in fact, Dr. A.T. Francis is online. But in between, I want to tell you one thing, that there was a question in the chat box regarding one person has told that blockchain technology should be explained. But we have one webinar we will be conducting on blockchain technology later on in the month of August. So no need to explain blockchain technology here because the time is permitting. Anyway, Dr. A.T. Francis, please.
Yes, thank you, sir. Dr. Mini, you may be remembering me, madam.
Very much. An old friend. Hello. Nice to see you.
Yes. I was in the RDO and alumni of Cochin University of Science and Technology. Kabir sir is my guide for PhD. You have wonderfully explained the practical tips, how information can be safe, and what are the precautions to be made by the librarians and every people. I am very much happy to see you again. Thank you, nothing to add.
So thank you, Dr. Francis.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody? In fact, this is a topic which more questions can be asked on the downloading of ebooks. So many things are there.
Sir, shall I ask some question now?
Yes. Dr. Biju Ishwar. Okay. Dr.
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, madam, for your wonderful presentation. And I would like to know something, recently I came to know that some information can be accessed easily from the remote areas, even from the Kerala University library system. Actually, we are for the first wave of the COVID-19. We had given a username and password. And through that way, so many research scholars were used to access information. But I came to know that, a particular system security officer like you can easily access the information system, the digital information system available in Kerala University or any other university through SQL attack method. So what are the precautions should be taken in order to protect our information from SQL attacks?
Okay. See, SQL attack happens when there is a issue with the database applications what you're using, So it all depends on how efficiently your application is coded. It is the responsibility of coder to know. And though we are not doing it, we would advise you to do the security auditing so that they will be able to. It is called OWASP, OWASP. OWASP has come out with 10 vulnerabilities. And when you're doing the security auditing for this OWASP, they will find out which are the sites which is having these kind of. There are many tools also available, but this is not a very simple thing which I can talk to you in another 5 to 10 minutes. Yes, it is a very serious thing. It is not. It all depends. This is a vulnerability which is happening in the application. That is what I want to tell you in simple terms. Did I answer your question?
Dr. Biju?
Yes. Okay, yeah. Thank you, madam. Anyway, we will learn more in order to protect our information.
Yes. You have. I have just given you the foundations only. There are quite a lot of things.
Yes, but from your talking, I was able to realize we need more discussion, more classes. Definitely, I think the Kelpro and other members will do something more. I think. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Biju. And I think Dr. Ranjit has posted something on the chat box. You can ask Mr. Ranjit. Madam, In the chat box, there is a question. Could you explain the recent issues related to the security and privacy of WhatsApp, Facebook, and Twitter?
I'm not an authority to talk about it, but I'll just give you simple terms. See, actually WhatsApp, Twitter, and all are intermediaries. What do you mean by that? Intermediary is that I am sending some information to somebody else. So who is responsible? Whether the source or the end user. So Twitter is the intermediary. That is what government has said. So these people, intermediaries, were actually penalized earlier. So during, I think, IT Act takes care of all these kind of issues. So later there was some changes, and Government of India asked Twitter to appoint somebody as an officer who will be responsible for these kind of problems. But there is what I forgot that one. There is one legal term for this. That is, there basically the people who is not directly responsible, but in some way permits the dissemination of information. See,
compliance
officer, not okay. Compliance officer is what they have asked for. There is one more term that is a legal terminology. I forgot for these kind of protection what government is giving. So basically, compliance officer need to look into the compliance activities, and you can see that Twitter and all these people are looking at. It is not a direct one. It is of course a machine learning technique what they are using, and is also trying to identify the fake news and the kind of provocative news, etc. That also you might have read in the paper. They are also trying to identify and minimizing the kind of problems that is happening. And WhatsApp, what they say is that they are not taking any backup. I think that is what WhatsApp issue was, that they have end-to-end encryption. That what they say is correct. We don't know what is happening, so we presume that it may be correct.
Okay, thank you, madam. Another question is how safe is how safe is using open source software in library settings? That is from some Rashid Muhammad. I don't know which place.
If you can be more specific, I can answer. To me, I think I don't say that anything is 100% safe, but we presume that so many qualities. That is what we do when we are doing this auditing also. You can't say until some attack happens, we say that we presume that everything is safe. Open source generally seems to be much more safer because a community is promoting it. If a community is promoting, if somebody finds out some error, somebody else is there to help it, and they don't want. See, if you say that don't use it, you have to pay for it, there are more people to attack this. If you say that it is open, anybody can use it, there will be less people to attack. That's why we say open source is much more safer, because the attacks are very less. That doesn't mean there will not be any attack, but attacks are much more less. That's
okay. So thank you, madam. And on Anupama TS, she is asking, can you conduct a few more sessions in deep on cybersecurity from Dr. Mini madam? So I think madam is talking on this aspect on several platforms. I think so, on cybersecurity issues.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you are looking for. Actually,
Okay.
I just gave you an overview. Each and every topic in this one you can have more than 1 hour sessions, but it all depends on what is your requirement.
Okay.
I may not be.
Okay. So thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you. So anybody have any queries, you can directly ask now. So a few more minutes left. Okay, we cannot wait for long. Now, let us wind up now, madam. Okay. So, so thanks for the distinguished, enlightened audience for the active participation and discussion. Thanks to Dr. Mini madam for the excellent presentation and spending your precious time with our KELPRO community. Now I request Dr. Arun Kumar for the formal vote of thanks. He is the executive member of KELPRO, organizing secretary, and library professional in the Kerala University Library System at Trivandrum. Dr. Arun Kumar.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, sir. Good evening to all. We all know that we are living in the digital world. The security aspect that is in the digital world is very important thing for us. The presentation delivered by Dr. Mini Madam illustrates and explains from the she starts from the history of internet and goes through the different security threats related to our information and comes to our security threats related to our library environment. It's a very informative session. I think all of the participants would get a chance to enrich their knowledge in this field. It's my privilege to have the opportunity to deliver the vote of thanks for this event to all the dignitaries and participate in our program. First, thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Mini Ulanat, Systems Manager QSAT. On behalf of KELPRO, I record our deep sense of appreciation and gratitude to you, Madam.
Okay, Madam.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
would also like to thank for the valuable information she shared with us and the time she spent with us. I also extend my gratitude to the great personalities, Dr. B. Mini Devi, Department of Library and Information Science, Kerala University, Dr. A.T. Francis sir from Agricultural University, Dr. Ramesh Babu sir, Sri Kunyahaman sir, Dr. Prakasan, Dr. Surendran Cherugodan, Dr. Biju Ishwar, and all others who spend their valuable time with us. I also extend our sincere thanks to all other KELPRO officials, and I also extend the thanks to the participants who assembled here for making this event successful. Expect your presence and support in all our future webinars conducted by KELPRO. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam. Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam. I think she has left.
I think she is late. Okay, sir. Now we can wind up our sessions.
You can wind up, no problem.
Okay.
Sir, will we be getting certificate or not?
Okay, you can contact your KELPRO's mail ID. That is included in our brochure. You can contact in that mail ID. If you require the certificate, you will get.